Okay, stream quality looks good. Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to the stream. I've been working on my marksman a little bit. Like, they're still in non-empowered timelines, but just wanted to show the progress that I made with this character. I have a video up on the build that I used to level this character pretty much up until like where I said I was bringing up to, so 77. So I leveled them using the build that I have on the channel. That was from just when as Epoch first went 1.0. I used that build to level this character up to level 76. And then like I've significantly changed the way that this character works. So now this is a Heartseeker build, but is obviously a very different kind of Heartseeker build. You see that I am dual wielding daggers right now. There is no bow and quiver used in this Heartseeker build, because this is a build that is using Ravager's Dart, which changes a Heartseeker to be a throwing skill. And while daggers are not, they don't provide any special benefits to throwing, what this does is by putting it that, the stuff that we have on our daggers is, they give us a much higher base crit chance. We're invested in extra crit multiplier. I've put extra increased fire damage on both. Then this one gives us extra fire penetration. This one gives us health on hit. And then around our gear, I went and I have this amulet that gives us a really nice base throwing damage. And then these rings have tier 5 throwing damage on them. And then these gloves here also have a nice exalted extra throwing damage on them. And what makes this really work is that with the Pillager's Gold Relic, and this one, I put extra throwing damage on the relic. What the relic does is that based on your chance to find potions, you add extra throwing fire damage to burning daggers. So, like the belt is important. So I have like this belt that gives 96% chance to find potions. I have this belt that gives 117% chance. And so, I was just testing out different things to see like what worked well. And then for the relics, I just use them mainly to get our resistances in an okay place. I'm still a bit under on fire and lightning. But, like I've gone and given ourselves some extra ignite chance, some extra fire penetration, increase our damage a bit when we're wielding a dagger. A little more fire penetration here. Then this one, more fire penetration wielding a dagger. So our fire damage penetration is pretty good. And then the way the skills work to allow that to work pretty well is that in Heartseeker, there is this damage conversion to fire. And then you can get Blades of the Pyre, which go and cause you to generate a burning dagger whenever you recurve. So we're heavily invested in recurve, so 30% from here, base 66% chance from here, extra recurve chance per point of dexterity. Arrow of the Ravager, because since the way that the helmet works is that if there's no active Heartseeker, then you automatically just throw one out. So, you know, that kind of blends perfectly with Arrow the Ravager. Since that, you know, it just makes it that your Heartseeker has like a much higher recurve chance, does a lot more damage, but it has a little cooldown on it. So basically, like, you know, you start up the fight, your first arrow goes out, and then like you just start generating these daggers just constantly. And it basically becomes that like it's a I guess damage engine. Like you want to get like this runs on its own. You don't actually need to like upkeep on this. Like the main thing that like I have set here is that by having Fury the Hunt, like this only works if you directly use Heartseeker. So like what I do is I have shift set up so that, you know, I'm cleansing any ailments that happen to be on the character. But more importantly, like I'm making it that like when you use this, you automatically crit on your next thing. So the idea of that is that, you know, like you dive in and try to directly use Heartseeker so that it is, you know, like all the hits from it are just critting since it's a single arrow. So all the recurves, everything is happening with that. That's all like just crits all around on that. Then our smoke bomb is set up so that, you know, we're dealing even more throwing damage if we were inside the smoke bomb area when we started using it. We'll get a little more leech off of that. And then our smoke bomb and our shift are creating shadows. And so since we're like our main thing here is that we're using burning daggers. Over in Cinder Strike, there is a mutation to let you like throw out burning daggers when you do the first attack in the chain of Cinder Strike, and then by going over here, you make it that you only do the first strike. So there is no second and third, it's always the first one. So you're always sending out the burning daggers, and then by going and investing this way, like you make it that you throw out a cone of burning daggers. And then the reason why we have the shadows is that by going here, makes it that your shadows throw out the burning daggers. So basically, like, you know, like we have Heartseeker working as our damage engine to go and just like kill everything without us needing to do anything. But when we're actually in a situation where we need to stand and fight, you know, then we can drop down, smoke bomb, dash, and start using Cinder Strike to do crazy amounts of damage. And then explosive trap, like this is just an extra thing, just for being extra. Like there's no, like I could go and like do puncture, make it that like when an enemy dies, like, you know, the like, puncture gets cast. But I decided, you know, I'd rather just do something that makes it that, because, you know, we are burning like anytime that we stand and fight, like we just burn through our MP. Since we burn through our mana as soon as we stand and fight, I decided I want to have something that lets us at least be a little active when we are, you know, like when we're in that situation. So explosive trap is just like an extra thing we can do, like when we need to regenerate our mana. Yeah, so that's the whole reason why that's there. Yeah, so let me just show this real quick, and then we'll switch over to our Void Knight. Character is currently up to Fall of the Empire. The big reason why I decided to stream today is mostly that I'm getting very close to rank 8. I didn't want to hit that with this character and off stream. So yeah, so we're seeing that, you know, we keep on summoning like these daggers constantly. They do all the work for us. So like once we're going, like, you know, like once like we get this started, you know, we're just killing everything, and there's nothing anything can do to stop us. And as I said, like, if I want to speed this up, I can just attack. Like I literally, like I choose not to attack just to show like how fast this gets. Yeah, just instant deletion of a lizard when we actually choose to attack. It is very strong. This is a very strong build. Yeah. And just like literally everything is a joke as this build right now. You know, I mean, obviously, like, you know, like it's very far from being done since, like, gear-wise, you know, we are not in a place where, like, you know, like we only have, well, I mean, technically we have, an effective HP of around 1600, but, like, you know, like, that's obviously, like, you know, not good enough for, like, really getting through, like, empowered timelines and high corruption stuff. You know, so defensively, like, this character has a long way to go. But offensively, this character is fantastic. Yes. This build is amazing. It actually, like, is so much better than I thought it was going to be when I first noticed the the interaction here. I'm sorry, here. Because like, this belt is the thing that brought the whole thing together. You know, because I had found this like a while ago on stream. You know, and I had these for a while, but it wasn't until like this dropped and I was like, isn't there a thing that happens with potion drop chance? And yeah, then I looked into it and found this. And yeah, so this is honestly probably like the easiest build to, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like super easy, but like, oh yeah, and also I didn't go over the passives. Passively, the only thing I made sure to go into was, you know, obviously we're dual wielding because, you know, we want to have our crit chance as high as possible. Right now we're sitting at 35% base crit chance. You know, so we wanted to be dual wielding to get our crit up and invest in as much damage as we could there. Then, you know, Steady Hand for the extra dexterity and health. Then went through Guile and Evasion in order to put some points into agility. Because, like any time that we gain haste, which, you know, we have a pretty good chance of gaining haste, like we gain damage just based on our movement speed. So, you know, so this is actually like a better source of damage than most things you can invest in. Especially since like the boots we're using just give us a lot of movement speed as well as increasing the effect of haste when we have it. Which the effect of haste is that it increases your movement speed. You know, it's just, you know, a lot of bonus damage just from doing that. This actually doesn't do anything for us anymore. Actually, like, I didn't even really think about it until like right now when I was when I was about to go over this. Like the purpose of this is if the skill you're using costs 0 mana, then you gain health and mana. But I don't have any skills that cost 0 mana anymore. Because we turned Cinder Strike into a high mana skill, like this actually doesn't do anything. So I could have actually just moved this into fixing up something else, but it is what it is. Moving on. Cloak of Shadows, more dexterity, glancing blow chance, once for the extra flat throwing damage. Falconer for the extra health, extra dodge rating. 1 point into Raptor's Wings just for, you know, like more damage with haste and extra chance to gain haste. Agile Hunt for more dexterity. Some points into Peltist in order to unlock the ability to get to Avian Hurl, which is for the extra throwing damage. Then over in Marksman, maxed out Draining Arrows for the extra health gain. Maxed out Focus Fire for the extra dexterity and the dodge debuff. Then 1 point in Assassin's Quiver, which obviously doesn't do anything for us, but it gives us access to Wound Maker and 5 points in that. So that way, like, we're pretty much always applying critical vulnerability, that we're critting more and more often, no matter like what the defenses of the enemies are. And all of that is... Oh, did I go over this? Oh yeah, and Missile Mastery for the increased throwing damage, and also improving the armor shred effect. And all of that is just so we get 30 points into Marksman so that we have access to Heartseeker. It's the only thing we're using from Marksman. And I had to invest in stuff that obviously, like, you know, like had an effect regardless of if you were using a bow. Yeah, so that's our passive build.
Yes.
No, I see. Okay. Yeah, so that is this build. Like I said, it's super fun to play. Needs a lot of work in terms of getting the defenses up to par. Probably like the perfect perfect setup for this. You know, you'd have, you know, lots of extra health on your gloves, your boots, your rings. Like this ring actually obviously has some health on it, but, you know, you could do better. You know, like just extra health on everything, extra dodge in as many places as possible. And probably like replace these daggers with this one here. No. Yeah, size. There we go. Probably like Get 2 size, so that way for the extra dodge chance. Then, you know, get dodge chance in as many places as we can. You know, get our resistances capped out everywhere. You know, critical avoidance. You know, try to get as much of that in as possible. Of course, you know, like our big limiters are that, you know, for the helmet, like, you know, like if you can get a Ravager's Dart that has more legendary potential than the one that I had, then you probably, I mean, you could potentially like put some more defensive stuff in. Like for me, like it was important to get the helmet affix for rogues that, you know, give you extra crit chance per equipped dagger. Because that just, you know, that's just a really large increase to your crit chance. And then for, you know, like here, like the throwing damage that I have here, like I used that because I had only found one relic that happened to have the flat throwing damage on it. Actually, no, I don't even think I found one. I think I crafted it on because I couldn't find one that had like a an exalted throwing damage affix on it. So like, you know, like if you can get a better, you know, better throwing damage on the Pillager's Gold, on your Pillager's Gold, you know, that'll get you a bit more damage than what I'm able to do. Yeah, so this is like I say, like this build is like maybe like half complete. We're like halfway there, like to where like we need to be to really be able to like push this character into anything of value. Yeah, so that is my marksman build. So back over to my Gobez. Yeah, so last time we left off with this character deciding that we want to farm up some shields. Because we need endurance. Need endurance real bad. Actually, I think I put something away for this character that I found with my marksman while I was messing around with that character. Oh yeah, I found this also when I was playing as that character. The Eternal Eclipse. Actually, I haven't looked at what this does yet. So it's a unique Kopesh that gives you fire resistance, increased fire damage, makes it that your next fire melee attack also deals a whole mess of flat void damage and time rot chance. Interesting. And then every 2 seconds after your next void melee damage gives you a whole mess of flat fire and ignite. And it gives increased void damage as well. Okay. This is super interesting. This is a super interesting weapon. Yeah, so the idea here... Oh. Here we go. The idea here is you probably want to be using Void Cleave in the fire conversion along with Racing Strike. Or maybe you do the Vengeance thing, because Vengeance has the Vengeful Echoes. Is it actually, is this or this? No, Abyssal Retribution. That's what I'm thinking of. It has Abyssal Retribution, which makes it that your next Void Cleave or Racing Strike like deals more damage. Yeah, that causes Void Conversion though. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, so you do Void Vengeance, which gives you your fire buff, into Void Cleave in the fire conversion, but you have the Obliterator. You have the Obliterator upgrade, so that after you use your fire Void Cleave, then your Racing Strike just becomes like a guaranteed crit with a massive damage bonus. And I think you can... Yeah, you can get additional charges for that. And I think... Actually, was that a weapon? It was a weapon, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of that axe. This thing here. Yeah. Because that does increase crit chance and area based on the mana of the attack. Yeah, so that would be pretty interesting. It's probably like, you know, like the way to use it is just straight up Vengeance, Void Cleave, Raising Strike, and then run around until they finish their cooldowns. Just because, you know, going for time loop, like if you're not using World Splitter, just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm not really sure like what you would use for that idea. Even if you had like a ton of mana regen. Because it's plus 50 MP, right? No, 60s per echo. That's 27 mana, and then every time it echoes, you consume an additional 60 mana. And you can have it echo up to 4 times. Yes, you'd need 147 MP just to do, well, yeah, no extra mana cost for going over here. There's extra mana cost for going here, though. Yeah, no extra mana over here either. And that's free. Don't think there's any mana regain for... Yeah. Yeah, no mana regain for Vengeance. But if you're invested in... $10 mana per use of Vengeance. Yeah, so you can spam Vengeance just for... just for mana gain. Yeah, obviously the cooldown wouldn't matter for this. Wrong thing. Here we go. Like getting rid of the cooldown wouldn't matter for this, because like unless you're going like insane amounts of mana. Like 1,000 mana. Like you wouldn't be able to like use this in any sustainable way. I guess you could use what's it called? Legendary potential to craft on but once again, like, that wouldn't be like a massive amount of mana. That'd be some mana. You need mana on all your gear. Well, all the gear that can handle mana. Even then, you'd have to have mana regen as well. Because if you did have that massive amount of mana, then, you know, like even with a full 5 ranks in Time and Faith, like, you know, you're not getting everything back in any timely manner. Yes, you need Exalted. You need this Exalted Affix, which, let me see, this is... I mean, there's 2 different ones, right? There's this one where it's the mana and mana spent gain this ward. But there's also... If we can find it. Yeah. There's also this one with mana and mana regen. But maybe the mana regen one doesn't roll on two-handed weapons. Yeah, it doesn't look like I... If I had any swords or... Any swords, axes, or spears that had the exalted mana affix on it, I didn't keep it. Well, I mean, this has it. Yeah, so I must have found the two-handed sword that had it on it. Yeah, so Eternal Eclipse, if you can get it with legendary potential on it, and you might be able... Actually, what's the range on this? 240. Yeah, so 240 is the max increase. You get legendary potential and craft on an exalted increased mana with mana regen. Or flat mana with mana regen. And then get as much mana as you can across your gear. You know, then you could do the Vengeance, Void Cleave, Erasing Strike combo with impunity. Now, the alternate thing you could probably want at least 2 legendary potential. And the other thing you'd probably want to roll on it. So you'd need the mana, but you'd also want to get a very large amount of stun chance. Yeah, because if you're using this, you can't have a shield. I mean, unless you're using this as a forge guard, but I don't think this would be a good option as a forge guard. Like this, I think is great, like a great idea for a forge guard using void damage. But this one here, even though like forge guards have lots of fire, I don't think this would be a good option. Because you couldn't really invest in the time rot stuff. Like, whereas with this one, you know, time rot doesn't matter. Yeah, I think like something that this sword is missing. I think it's like important for them to update here. That this should have something like the way that the Spellblade, like the Spellblade Shatter Strike and Flame Wave synergy works. Should have something similar to that in here. Like where, like if an enemy is suffering from Ignite, then the Void hit converts all of the Ignite stacks into Time Rot stacks. And then when you do your Fire hit, it converts all your Time Rot into Ignite. Like, I think that's something, I think that's missing from this whole thing. It was a cool weapon. This is a very cool weapon. I'm glad I waited until I was on stream to actually take a look at what that did. Interesting. Yeah, so we are working on Fall of Outcasts. Now we're not going to be using any NVs. Mostly because we're running low, but also I do want to finish the faction. And we're not going to finish the faction if we keep using NVs to get through timelines.
I cannot do that.
Yeah, we closer to 2000.
I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I cannot do that.
Why'd you do this, Warden? Why'd you do this?
I cannot do that.
I mean, it's supposed to be like the player caught the Rune Warden like capturing a mage, and that's why like they ambush us. Like I don't get why it is that the Rune Wardens ambush the player. It does not seem to make sense. Okay, it's one of these.
I cannot do that.
Your favorite cache? Nope.
Too heavy. I cannot do that. Too heavy.
Yeah, thing that I keep on like messing up with when doing this build, like when playing as this character, is like this is a like a 2-button build. Well, like in terms of like my fingering on the keyboard, like this is a 2-button build. So like, you know, like I only need to press W and E while I'm using it. But like when I play as my marksman, if there's my marksman, that character requires more than that. And I keep on forgetting the difference.
Yes.
So I always start off playing this character like they are a different character. Okay, there we go. And we're done.
Yes.
Is it time to shatter something? Maybe. Might be shatter time. Yeah, we do have a lot in here. Yeah, it's shatter time. Hopefully by the time we get this, we'll see our cemetery.
I cannot do that.
And this has big blocked effectiveness and endurance. I mean, the block chance is really bad, though. It's really bad block chance, so we'd have to craft on. We craft on, then we can't do our... And how much damage do we get out of this? Yeah, not an insignificant amount. Plus, there's the less void damage taken on block. Yeah. Now, if we had these on this, that'd be pretty good. Yeah, can't justify any of those.
Stand down.
Lost Guardian Cache. Stop you. Oh. I didn't realize I could drop on an amulet. Okay. And so there is a massive enhancement to that build. I thought that was a belt only thing. Yeah, so comboing Exalted Belt and an Amulet. That's literally an extra 100. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah. 3 Legion Potential Slab.
Too heavy.
Nah. Yeah, I'm gonna forget about that cash if I don't get it right now. Need to see if it's a favor cache. It is. Glad I didn't miss out on that.
I cannot do that. Too heavy.
Yeah, so we were at a little over 600. I'm sorry, 6,000. Now we're at... That doesn't seem right. Because favor pickups... I'm pretty sure those favor pickups added up to like 3,200. And we're not building favor with anything else because everything else is done. Weird. I'm not sure why it is that Merchant's Guild shows up here. You can't use Merchant's Guild as an offline character. Weird.
I cannot do that.
Hmm. Yeah, this one has more resistances, but the other stuff is better on that one.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. That is usable now. Hey, let's get rid of all these extra set items. I have the power of scrolls on my side. Y'all's is doomed. Your cash. Yeah, I'm not really sure how the favor cache works. Because it's definitely giving us a value. Like we're seeing like each one of those gave like 600. But it doesn't seem to be translating to that in the actual favor overview. Okay, who's left? Got 3 over here. And 2 over here. Oh, more. There are more. Okay. All down.
Cannot do that.
Here we go. By the way, I learned something kind of neat during the most recent dev stream. So apparently, I guess we're not really seeing the effect because like these aren't really like in spots that they shouldn't be at. Or I guess that one was. So I'm not sure why. Or maybe it's because no. Yeah, because Mike was showing during the dev stream that if you like toggle on and off your loot filter, then like, you know, when things are like crazy all over the screen, that'll like bring it back into the middle. But I guess like in that case, like it wasn't like crazy disjointed, which is why we didn't really see a major effect. And he made it up to the boss.
I cannot do that. Too heavy. Too heavy.
Nah. Okay. Nice. There's a lot of new shards.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Stand down or die.
Hey, fair cash. Hmm. Yeah, we haven't moved at all. Weird. And so favor cash does not affect... Okay. So what's the favor cash for then? Like maybe like it's... Okay, that's what it is. So favor is specifically for this stuff. Our memory ambers are a separate thing from actual favor. Favor is specifically for these. That sucks. I mean, it's good if you're somebody who, you know, likes to, like, buy up really expensive favor, like, really expensive, like, prophecies all the time, but... if that's not how you play, that's not really worthwhile.
Stand down or die.
I probably put that. Yeah, I probably put this in there. There we go.
Cannot do that.
If only that base was better. It's actually like really nice, but having a poison base for that just does not work.
Do that.
Okay. In here. Hey. Gauntlet of Strife. Do a sequence of empowered bosses and their champions. Cool. Hopefully that's not one of the ones that we unlock at the next rank.
Take care. Yes.
It is cemetery time. Let's try the cemetery. Stop getting distracted. Just move in a direction until you find it. Know everybody. None of you are the objective. Leave me alone. There it is.
What is it to be lost? I offer the weaver's
Okay.
web will bind us together.
Stand down or die. I cannot do that. I cannot do that.
Okay. Okay. Went the wrong way. Okay, firstborn down. No thanks. That's good. Nope. Got around two of these that did the same thing. Physical pen with void damage. Poison pen with void damage. Stop taunting me. Do I want to re-enchant this again? Okay, endurance on that one. Okay, so right here is Forge of Fates. Right here is Fate Weavers. Okay. Got Fate Weavers right here. Already done that. Can't do that until 200 corruption. Okay, this one here. Lost caches abound in the graveyard of wrecked vessels. Done all the rest of these. Yeah, so we'll pop this guy right here. Put a sentinel right there. False temple right here. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe putting down another one of these. But I don't think that... Like, I think by the time we do all of these... And this guy here... Will probably be at... Our stability... Goal. Yeah, so nothing else for us to mess with. Maybe a far side turtle. And put a far side turtle right there. Okay. Not a sentinel though. It's a sentinel chess piece.
Yes. Take care.
Turtle. Something I forgot to go over when I was explaining my marksman build. Like something that like you could get you a lot of extra damage in that build is if you were to go and slot in the Xeric set, like the Xeric set shards into your build. Because one of, like the 2 set for the Xeric thing makes it that when you use a potion, you gain like some flat necrotic damage to your throwing attacks. Which, you know, like it's necrotic damage, so, you know, obviously, like, you know, you're not, well, like, you're not going to do that much more damage unless you happen to have increases to fire damage and necrotic damage in your build. But like the 3-piece set gives you an additional like 70 something increased potion find. So, you know, so that's another like 35 flat throwing damage. Hmm. Okay. Finally start building up some memory embers. By the way, even though like this one is absolutely a joke as this particular character, like Lichessis is the devil, like as anything other than a character that has like massive like survivability. Like that, like this boss is like a coin flip, like whether or not I actually kill it every time I run into it as my marksman. And I would like that as my... marksman, but only because of that mana thing.
Yes. Take care. Yes.
What am I at with those? 23.
Take care.
Yeah, we can test a couple of these.
Yes.
What?
Take care.
Melee, physical, bleed, ignite. I mean, the ignite is whatever, but the rest of it's actually very good. Attack speed, cold damage, cold pen. Pretty good. Void, lightning, fire, pen, chill. Terrible.
Yes. Take care.
Okay. Go for Woven Echoes first. Yeah, I've learned my lesson not to go into this thing here, because there's a one way in, one way out thing. You waste your time if you walk in there. Okay, looks like I got them all. Yeah, this is one of the shrine ones. Where are my shrines?
Stand down.
Peter Prophecy. I'm not sure if I've ever gotten one of those before.
Stand down or die.
What is up with the placement of the shrines in this one? They're all in the outer bounds.
Stand down or die. Too heavy. Stand down or die. I cannot do that. I cannot do that.
Okay, nothing new. Gloves with big regen. Nice. We are level 90 now.
Yes. Take care.
Yes, this is my first time seeing this shield. The Bastion of Honor. 14 block, 357 block effectiveness, gives extra strength, increased block chance per strength against enemies within 4 meters. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so if you can put... Okay, max on the strength on... Max strength roll on that is 10. Yeah, so with just 70... Oh, actually, what's mineral? 4 is mineral. Yeah, so with 76 to 82 strength in your build, you can guarantee block anything using this shield. And if as your legendary potential set, you put just a massive amount of block potential, or block effectiveness, yeah. Your block chance is set at 14. I mean, if you have like 2 block rings and a block... 2 block rings, block gloves, and they have the block idols now. Am I remembering wrong? Pretty sure there were block idols. Like maybe I've seen them and I've just never picked one up because the other stuff with it wasn't good. Maybe. I'm pretty sure I've seen block idols. Or let's assume that I'm crazy and that's not true. So as a... sentinel, or like any kind of sentinel, or a falconer, 64. No, no, no. Yeah, so 54 to 60 strength. As a falconer or sentinel, you need 54 to 60 strength in order to run this as max block chance. Then with a very high block effectiveness, actually, yeah, it rose up to 400. You got a pretty decent roll for the block effectiveness on this. We slam on like really nice block effectiveness, like from one of these. You're guaranteed block on every hit. If I wanted to use it on this character, that's giving up the set bonus. You absolutely cannot have the set bonus if we do that. But maybe we switch to something else. Shattered Lance is cold. Obviously, we're not going to do that. None of the other... Yeah, none of the other sets really go with our build. It's something to consider. I'm not going to commit to that, anything regarding that right now, but something to consider. Now we only care about the first one. And we can just seal that in. Ah, damn it. Almost good. It was almost really good. If this had triggered and let us get that affix on it, would have been good. I mean, is it actually better than this even without that? And we lose all that strength though. It's 11% health regen that we lose. 38% void resist. We gain extra armor mitigation. Gain more life. Gain a lot more regen. Yeah, we can afford to lose that void resist. Let's see, 439. 580. Okay. Massive increase. And our health went from 2869 to 2955. A little bump. Little bump to health, big bump to regen. And a nice bump to our armor mitigation, also applies to damage over time. Got 4 last bear shards back.
Yes.
Too heavy.
Okay, looks like we're back. Yep, sorry. Didn't catch that until very late. Hmm. Yeah, almost done here.
Stand down or die.
Okay, that's good enough.
Too heavy.
Yes. Take care.
At 2,400 away. Okay, this is a shrine one. Yep. Thank you. Very kind, very kind.
Stand down or die. Stand down or die. Too heavy. Stand down or die.
Okay. Good enough. Okay. Okay. Rather than put anything back that had legendary potential on it. Okay, so just this one. After this one, we should have... Should have the next rank. If not, we can buy it.
I cannot. I cannot do that. I cannot stand down or die.
Hmm. Come on. I know you're here. Where are y'all at? There we go. There you go. Forgetting about that prophecy. Annoying. Okay. You and you.
Stand down or die. Stand down or die.
You're forgetting to do this. There we go. Tired of seeing red all the time. Very nice endurance. Hmm.
Too heavy.
We are going to be so close. If we don't get the next rank here... Oh, there it is. We got it. Got the next rank. Next, as soon as we're done with this, we can go and see what new... whatchamacallits we have access to.
Stand down or die. Too heavy.
I mean, that kind of goes with that vengeance idea I was talking about before. So 21 mana gained when you use vengeance. You have decent attack speed. Well, you can really only get attack speed off of glove and weapon. Can you invest in attack speed as a sentinel? Can. 30%. %. 10%. 10%. So 50 as a paladin. 40 as a forge guard. And 70 as a void knight. That's whatever bonuses you can get on your gear. With all that, you're talking max 2 hits per second. So, yeah, so with 1,000, if you have 1,000 mana, then that combo would get you like half your mana back in 5 seconds. Not terrible.
Yes. Take care.
Yeah, bring this in to reroll using a Harbinger.
Yes.
Yeah, can't get any health on it. A little more block chance. Yeah, I think that fixes everything. I mean, obviously, you know, we lose a lot of block effectiveness, but doing it this way, like when we block, and our chance to block is actually pretty high when we're spinning. 58% chance to block.
Take care.
When we block, all of our damages are significantly reduced. If it happens, like if it's elemental, then half of it is being converted to void. And any void damage we take is already reduced. And any void damage we block is reduced even further. And any damage we block is reduced even more. So void and elemental damage should be basically dropped to nothing. Like this. That's all of our endurance taken care of, so we don't need...
Greetings.
this guy anymore. We can go and switch that over to armor while channeling. So now,
Mistakes can be undone. But the lesson
yeah, 73% armor, wooden channeling, 8% block chance. We're capped on everything. Almost 3k health, 580 regen. Yeah, I think we are good. Yeah, I'm not sure, like, what does this do? I have 2 points in here now. What did that do? Because there's nothing... There's no value on this node. So, what does having 2 points in this do? You don't need 2 points to get to here. What's the point of that? Tomb of the Erased, Shade of Erebus, Confluence of Oblivion, Gauntlet of Shades. Tomb of the Erased, Shade of Erebus, Confluence of Oblivion, Gauntlet of Shades. Yeah, nothing there changed. What does having 2 points in this do? I don't understand. I do that. Good enough. What are our new echoes?
accept you with I explored. It was not a weaver's kind. Weaver accepts you with open arms, traveler. How may I aid you?
Woven vessel of memory. Destroy the vessel of memory in this echo to restore nearby completed echoes to their original states. Huh. I need to complete them again and claim their rewards for a second time. Interesting. Woven echoes and echoes containing vessel of memory or vessel of chaos are unaffected. Yes, we'll buy one of these. There we go. What is this? Okay, I have one of those set down. I forgot to do it. Yeah, so he doesn't sell this one or this one. I don't know. Doesn't sell this one or this one. Because we can see the other ones. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I've done this one. Now, we've done all of these, and everything here except for this one and maybe this one. And we can't see anything else here until rank 9. We're a ways out from that.
Weaver accepts you with open arms, traveler. How may I aid you?
I mean, this one might be worth having a bunch of. We want to have extra Farsight turtles. I have 3 right now. Let's grab extra of these. I mean, let's do this one time just to see if it actually is worth doing. Then decide if it's worth buying a bunch of extra ones of those. Okay. those are done. This one here. That's a turtle. This guy here. Yeah.
Cannot do that. I cannot do that.
It's pretty good so far. Definitely seems like it's one worth doing.
I cannot do that. Too heavy. Too heavy. Cannot do that.
Yeah, this definitely seems like it's the most profitable one to run.
Too heavy. Cannot do that. Stand down or die. I cannot do that.
Hmm. Yeah, this is a super profitable thing. Oh,
Too heavy.
okay. Okay, we have 36 out of 50. We have 5 more that we can get from here. Those 9 that we need to finish up from this set.
Yes.
Okay, go do the turtle.
I cannot.
Oh, I gotta remember to toss that. Hmm. Okay, so 2 big successes. Not bad.
Take care. Yes. 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 Take care. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Is it worth trying with just 11? I don't think it is. I mean, I've got to try.
Take care.
Hmm. It's not terrible, but I need the extra smite. Doesn't roll the extra smite. It's not any good for me.
Yes. Take care.
Okay. Yeah, so aside from having some woven echoes that we still need to go and knock out, I think this character is done.
The altar of oblivion.
So you'll finally return to me, and with a guest. But first, prove yourselves worthy.
Aberron! Face us yourself!
I cannot do that.
Dodge this!
Oh. I was on the wrong side. I don't know why I thought I was behind him, but I was not. I did not mean to be standing right in the middle of the big attack. Well, not that big attack anyway. Like the big circle attack, I don't mind getting hit by. You can't kill me with it. But like the multi is the only one that I actually try to respect. Okay, big boys down. Okay, second one down. Alright, so this time, we know
Don't worry about me.
we get in the middle of the attack. And as soon as the outside ring goes away, we dodge out. And then we... Okay, so it doesn't go all the it doesn't chase you all the way out. Okay. Does that ground thing never go away? Uh-oh. Okay. So it's a damage over time thing that he does when he slams. And they call it a slam, but it's not a slam. It's a damage over time effect. Because I was thinking that the way to beat that is like go out from it, like to get your evade charge back, then leap in. But that won't work because it's actually like the area that he hits is an expanding damage over time effect. Means that the way you get around it is you have to make sure that you go in a direction that you can run from it. That's the only way to beat it, is to go in a direction you can run from it. Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like going for another go there, but... Now we have more information than I did before. Yeah, so this guy's good. He can probably beat Aberoth. Like Aberoth obviously was not taking a lot of damage from us, but we're doing void damage, and he does seem to be a void enemy. Regardless, like I think that like from now on, I'm not saying like the character is perfect. You know, there's lots of stuff that still needs to get. Like, you know, like having a shield that's like this but also has health is important. Like getting a better chest piece, also important. Something that has good vitality, good health. Better roll on the armor mitigation also applies damage over time, because this only has 10% and that go up to 17%. Actually, didn't I get a ring? Yeah, I got this ring I forgot about. Nah. But that really wouldn't be an improvement over this. We lose a ton of damage and a lot of health. Yeah, so there's still stuff that I never even noticed that the Weaver Relic had that on it. We already had 24% on this. Yeah, so 56% of our damage reduction is applying to damage over time. Yeah, so if we didn't have all that, then like when we died to the damage over time effect, it would have looked like we died from a single hit. Like we only survived that as long as we only like were able to see that we were taking damage over time. Like because we had so much of our armor applying to damage over time. Actually, then we have some on here also. Just 1%. Yeah, if we can get the one of these. Get one of these that has good enough yeah, because we need the damage on it. One of these that rolls with the good damage on it. We can turn into one of these. Then that combination should get us into a much better place. Because with that on, we probably would have survived it if we had this on. I probably would have had to use like 1 or 2 potions, but we probably would have survived it. Actually, I wonder if the combination of our very high health regen and our leech. I wonder if that would have been enough to make it. That if we had just been... Yeah, if we had just been dealing damage instead of trying to get away from the damage. I wonder if we actually have enough combined so like the fact that like we were seeing ourselves taking damage means that we were taking damage at an interval that surpassed the amount of regen we have. There was enough overflow over our regen that we couldn't recover past it from the damage over time. But like the amount of damage we do, you know, because that's 2.5% void damage, and that's 4.5%. And if it's void, then it's like 9%. Yeah, so the fact that it still says 7%, even though we don't have any void skills on our bar right now, aside from anomaly, means that the, like, what it's saying there is not taking into account the bonus that we get. So we may be leeching 17% of our damage. Or sorry, 14% of our damage. So it might actually be enough. Yeah, any point that we drop off puts us in a worse situation. Yeah, it's very unlikely we're going to get an additional 4 or 5 levels of warpath, if anything. I mean, 3 points would significantly improve like how quickly our mana goes down. And we'd be negative on fire, though. Yeah, we don't have enough coverage on fire to take that 30-point hit. I don't think we have any good little fire resistance ones. Hmm. I don't know. I mean, even with that, I don't think that we would be getting as much value as I hoped. I think this is our real drain. I mean, if we significantly reduce our damage from this, maybe that will reduce that enough that... Because the big issue is that in order for like the amount of damage we're leeching to get us through, we would need to be consistent. And we can't be consistent if like we're blowing through all of our mana before we've had time to recover our health using leech. Yeah, I don't think that's an option. Add an option. It has to be the run. I have to rely on the run. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks everybody who stopped by, check out the stream. If you're enjoying it, appreciate the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Vivictus, Bye, Maris, and bye.